were certainly anticipating this review now, weren't we, gents? Oh yes, at long last, I've finally seen this film. This is quite a while in the pipeline. I've been eagerly looking forward to this throughout the lockdown period, and I can finally say that I've purchased this film via early access for the pricely sum of £16. I did have an opportunity to see this with the guys and watch it through nefarious means, but obviously due to the COVID lockdown I wanted to be good and sensible, so I declined the invitation and I have forked out the goods. I've opened the purse strings and I've watched this properly through my PS4 in a glorious HD. Was it worth the price? Yes, absolutely. I fully enjoyed this, to be perfectly honest with you. Now, obviously, this was never going to be like a Citizen's Kane. It's very much like the Transformers 2, really. I sort of described that as, well, not basically being Shakespeare. This is dumb, just to fucking sit down and enjoy it. I sort of applied that same logic to this movie. You know, it's based on a 1992 video game, folks. It ain't going to be amazingly well written or sort of nuanced and cultural. Having said that, there was substance here. There really was. There was definite substance. A lot of plot twists, well, I won't say plot twists, but a lot of to appease the palate, effectively. And the choreography was excellent. I mean, to make comparisons to the 1995 film, the choreography was out of this world. The actual fighting, the sort of the jam that sort of holds the sort of this sandwich together, this martial arts movie, effectively, was very good. Really had no qualms about it whatsoever, and more importantly, it was on brand. The gore effects were fantastic. I was a bit funny at first. I mean, the opening was very, very good. In fact, the opening was leaked onto YouTube, and for good reason. It definitely hooked me in and made me thirsty for more, I have to admit. It was a very good opening. Perhaps this is a trend or something to a tale of things to come, effectively. Maybe this is a marketing technique that's going to be used in the future, making a fantastic opening to sort of hook people in. But having said that, despite how much I enjoyed it, the gore effects were obviously CGI and stood out to be a bit fake. That being said, what was on display here was very good. The CGI was hit and miss, though, in other areas. I mean, the Sub-Zero's freezing effects, some of it was really, really good. Excellent. Other times, though, it was akin to sort of Santa's Grotto, effectively. Those fake little icicles you can buy for Christmas decorations. Almost sort of felt that had that sort of vibe, really. There was an animated suit on the new Cole Young character that sort of appeared mid-movie. That looked kind of shitty, to be honest with you. Didn't look very good. And there were certain design elements I didn't like either. The Melina character, for instance, was sort of throwaway. But, I mean, she had this, like, red stuff on her mouth. It was obviously meant to be blood. It was almost like a Joker-esque sort of smile. I could be a sick fuck and describe it in the Morissonii for sort of fashion. But the more family-friendly description would be she basically ate a massive jam sandwich and didn't bother to wipe away the jam. She just went, and it just smeared. It literally just looked like a smear, effectively, on the corners of her mouth. It didn't look great at all. And she was practically 5 foot nothing and looked like a supermodel. I wasn't really buying into it at all. The best gore effect, I don't want to give this away, but there was a throwaway character, Natara. It was a real life MK character from Deception and Armageddon. She just sort of appeared out of fucking nowhere. The only spoiler I will give, Kung Lao and her have a fight, and the gore effect with that fight was phenomenal. By far the best and most detailed of the entire fight. So to go through the plot, they've created a character specifically for this movie called Cole Young, played by Lewis Tan. I was very, very concerned when I heard this, because it's the worst sort of movie trope, and you sort of see this with sort of borrowed franchises. They'll invent a character to sort of carry the sort of story and the exposition. But the good news is that Cole Young, it was an okay performance. The script wasn't as hammy as I thought it would be. In fact, the script throughout was pretty damn good. It was a very well written movie, truth be told. He wasn't an unbearable guy. Maybe a little generic perhaps, but not overly so. again, carried by a very good performance by Lewis Tan, to be perfectly honest with you. Jessica McName, the woman who played Sonia, I mean, to be honest with you, she had the most exposition at the beginning, really, when she met the Cole character, and she didn't come across well at first, but she certainly grew on me, and she certainly... I mean, her choreography was phenomenal. She looked like I was buying into the Sonya character after a while. Let's put it that way. I mean, the most hilarious part of the film is that this bloody special forces woman that's done such and such tours around the world basically gets mansplained by Liu Kang. It's just fucking hilarious. She basically gets told to fuck off. It's just funny. I found it hilarious. But she plays an integral role in Jax's sort of recovery. Basically gets the shit kicked out of him by Sub-Zero, and she plays a vital role in sort of building him up effectively. So the plot is that certain humans from around the world has basically been gifted this special brand. Obviously looks like the Mortal Kombat logo, and it basically means that they've been effectively chosen to fight for Earthrealm in a mystical tournament, and they have to win. They have to defend against sort of challengers, and if the challengers win 10 tournaments in a row, then they basically get invaded by this alien force. They don't actually fight in a tournament. Spoiler number 2. Basically, Outworld are a bunch of cheating bastards, and for whatever fucked up reason, they're able to send fighters to Earth basically to kill the combatants. It's almost like an MMA fight. You can literally just bust into their house during mid-training and just kick the shit out of them before the fight even starts. I mean, that's the real world equivalent. So very dirty, horrible tactics, and kind of shits on the whole idea, really. But nevertheless, it is sort of set in stone that they've basically did these sort of filthy tactics before, and they've sort of gotten away with it. So, within story, it makes sense. The best standout character is by far Josh Lawson, who plays Kano. Fucking hell, he was excellent. Absolutely fucking amazing. Very, very quotable. I can't quote too much of it, but I have written one specific line. And if these guys don't make it into a fucking t-shirt, if Warner Brothers don't franchise the fuck out of this, I'm stealing it for the Foxy Stoats, and we're going to make a fortune, boys. So here we go. Laser beams. Better than fireballs, you pussy. Yeah, I'll repeat that. Laser beams, comma, better than fireballs, comma, you pussy. Shakespeare. Fucking beautiful. Put that on a t-shirt. I'll buy the fucker. If you don't put it on a t-shirt, I'm making that fucking t-shirt, and I'm selling it to fuck myself. Oh, sweet Jesus. Excellent. Chef's kiss. Brilliant. So this collection of people who have been branded, they get taken to a secret temple where they have to unlock their special powers. So in a video game, you can sort of put in an input and he throws a fireball, or Sub-Zero's case, an ice ball, and a spear dart for Scorpion. Basically, they explain this by these sort of characters unlocking a mystical power called a Hakata. Whatever the fuck that means, and they're escorted to this holy sacred temple where they basically get a chance to unlock their powers. So only people that have been branded with this special brand get to unlock these powers. But the trick is that this brand can be passed on. So you could kill somebody who's been branded, and the brand would transfer to you. Basically, that's how the Jax character got his, and apparently that's how Liu Kang got his as well. There's quite a few Easter eggs knocked around the entire movie. You two are having a fucking field day with it. Interesting fact for you, all of you fucking wrestling marks. I saw it and I thought, yeah, he looks familiar, but Nathan fucking Jones, who had a little cup of coffee in WWE, he's in this film. He plays General Rico, who I thought was a made-up character, but memory serves me, I think he was a character in Mortal Kombat 4. Looks nothing like the actual movie design, but there you go. He was just randomly there. Doesn't contribute a lot, but he's there, and I totally recognised him in his get-up. Other sort of highlights, really. The music wasn't terrible. It was certainly nowhere near as memorable as the 1995 movie. I mean, the Immortals are still cool. They've still got their pacelift. It lacked the campiness and sort of that B-movie feel from the first attempt, really. But I mean, the good news is that we haven't technically seen a tournament. So there's little wiggle room there for the sequel, effectively. So yeah, there is some hope there. There was a bit of controversy when people found out that a certain character wasn't going to be included in this film. There was a little teaser or a hint that is going to be in the second one, if indeed there is a second one. As things are at the moment, I think it's a safe bet that there will be a sequel. Yeah, I mean, to sort of on a totally different actually no, before we get onto the topic of extortion or mental fees, one big negative, the Goro character. I literally gushed in my last review at how good the Goro puppet was. Unfortunately, we've taken a massive slide down. I mean, we sort of knew it was going to be, but the Goro character was completely CGI and hardly any lines of dialogue. There was sort of a menacing presence in the 1995 film. You know, he was sort of treated like a threat, basically a bitch in this film. He was treated like a bitch, and wasn't given a satisfying run in this film whatsoever, in my opinion, which is a shame. This was a good film, certainly not a groundbreaking film. I think the review critics got it right. It is about 60, maybe 70% in terms of the sort of review score. But hey, some of the best films are around about that sort of score. Highlander was, I think, 66 on Rotten Tomatoes. Fucking hell, The Last Jedi, as much as I like that film, I mean, that scored a 90. It's one of the highest scoring Star Wars films ever, and quite a lot of people hated that fucking film. So it goes to show you how much review scores mean, to be honest, or could mean. Anyway, Mortal Kombat. Go fucking watch it. It's a great time. It's under 2 hours. The soundtrack is a bit meh, but there's some fantastic fight choreography, some great scenes. The pit makes an appearance, albeit briefly, and it's kind of disappointing how it isn't utilised as it was in the movie. And there's Easter eggs galore. And the Kano character, he's fucking amazing. Absolutely brilliant. Stole the fucking show for me. And the way he bows out, the way the end scene with him is pretty cool. There's a nice bit of Chekhov's gun involved in that with a particular object. If you've seen it, you know. Excellent. There we go. Go watch it. You will not regret it. Anyway, I'm Jake Scar Morissonii. Please catch us at the Foxy Stoats. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.